Hi YouTube. These came in a few days ago and thought we'd just go ahead and talk about them in this video. Alright, here's the box. As you can see, they are the Palomino Prospector. And with all the Palomino pencils that I have in my possession, amazingly enough, it's taken all this time for me to actually try out the Prospector. And I believe the last time I tried to order them, they were on some kind of back order. And so I just waited until they said they had them back in stock again. Now you can see the information here. Palomino, Stockton, California. They're from pencils.com. People who make the Blackwing, which are my ultimate favorite luxury pencils, the Blackwing. So let's just see how these things pan out. Now they come 12, and I already had one here. I pulled one out. And in close inspection, you know how I like to do closeness. And let's see if we can get that zoom action going there. Okay, you can see it's a quality wood, cedar of course. That's without saying coming from those folks. And it has this really nice green paint job. It says USA, so it's made in the USA. Palomino Prospector #2. It has this little mildly brass ferrule, and of course the latex-free white eraser. You can see here, hexagonal pencil. Okay, so it's a nice looking pencil. I mean, you know, what can you say? It's nice, 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 nice. All right, so let's see how it writes. Now, of course, since I have a pencil out, you know I already know how it writes, but you want to hear it from me, so I'm going to tell you what I think. And I thought what I would do is, after I kind of sweep poetically here about what I think about writing with this pencil, that I would compare it to some of the other Palomino type pencils. Let me just kind of give it a little point here real quick, just a nice little starting point. Alright, and zoom. Let's see, we get that here. Okay, so this is the Palomino Prospector. Now, I could say that it's not a pencil that wows me. I mean, I'm not wowed by it. And if I try to just kind of give myself some kind of reference, like for example, I'm using the stub here of my Norica, what's left of this one Norica here, Palomino Prospector. See, when I compare it to something like this Norica here, I could easily see, for example, that the Prospector is not as dark as the Norica pencil that I just used. Another thing I note right off the bat is that the Norica here it has a nice, smooth finish feel to it, so that when I'm writing with this Prospector, is it smooth? Well, it's not real terrible, but it's definitely not smooth. You certainly can feel the scratch or the feedback. It's not. It doesn't give me that nice smooth Palomino Blackwing feel to it, which the Norica does, even though it's not a Blackwing. And if I was to take one of my Blackwings, like this Blackwing 24 that came in my subscription, and that feels smooth, and then I'm going to use this this Prospector. Okay, it's not as smooth. So the thing is I go for that really smooth feel, and I really want the darkest pencil I can get as well. So I have to say that for tonal, while it's certainly better than some cheapo Office Depot or Staples, 2-cent pencil, it's not a pencil, in my opinion, that you're just going to want to grab that pencil if it's sitting right next to, let's say, for example, here, I'll just pull out here for this Palomino HB pencil, okay? And see, what I'm trying to do is give you some kind of reference between, one pencil and another. Because, I could say all kinds of things. If I say, for example, yeah, it's kind of smooth. Well, what does that mean, kind of smooth? Kind of smooth compared to what? The backside of an alligator? You got to give some kind of reference. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of giving you an idea based on, some other pencils I have. And here's a Palomino, for example. And this one here, oh, that feels nice. That's really nice. That's a nice HB, okay? A very nice HB. And then when I go to this Prospector, I can feel right off the bat that it doesn't have the same degree of smoothness as this HB, Palomino HB. And I can also see that it's not as dark either. See that? Down here is the Prospector on the bottom. Okay. So it's pretty average as far as the tonal quality is concerned. It's not one of the dark-ended pencils, such as this one would be. So another thing we can do here, of course, is smear. Okay, so it has your basic smear, and for a pencil that isn't that dark, that's plenty of smear for a pencil that isn't that dark. And here's the eraser that comes with it. Okay, so it does a good job of erasing itself. Probably does a good job erasing others too. We'll get that old Palomino HB out of there. This eraser. Has a little bit of ghosting there because, well, it is a darker pencil. Okay. So I guess the only other thing that we could do with this, because we've kind of taken a look at, well, how it looks, and I kind of covered tonal quality, whether it's smooth or not, in relative to what, of course, the other pencils that I talk about in other videos that I consider to be a smooth pencil, like this 2014 Norica that I'm getting a lot of use out of. As you can see, it's shrunk. So we can go ahead and do the Ambi grading on this pencil next. Alright, well, comparing these two together, very difficult to tell, so we'll have to use the light box. There we go. I find it very surprising that it comes in looking a little bit darker than, oh, there we go. Okay, yeah, but looks almost slightly darker on the right than the left. And yeah, it's a shade darker, that's for sure. But then let's see what happens when we go to a B. Well, the B is definitely darker now on the left, as you can see. Okay. Yeah, the B is darker. So it's not a B. So you might call it a high-end HB. So we'll give it an Ambi grade of HB plus, though I find that to be a bit surprising because it certainly doesn't feel like one. But there you go. That's why I do it with the light box and all, because the eyes could really fool you. Well, that's my impression of the Prospector from Palomino. It's a decent pencil. From 1 to 10, I would say, you know, it would probably be like a 6, maybe 6.5. It's not what I would call going to be one of my favorites. Once these are used up or given away or whatever, I will likely not buy them again, because I just happen to use other pencils that I find to be a lot more satisfying to write with. And this one here, I mean, to me it's just like writing with an average school pencil. So that's it. It's not a very expensive box of pencils. It runs about $4 or $5, I guess. And if you like this review, please give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe. There's a little link button right down there. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks. Bye.